so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked. That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up, and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
We are fucking live, dude. Welcome to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty broadcast podcast, episode number 181, I think.
Yep.
My name is Casey, aka Razinon.
Cool.
People say Razinon because they can't read, by the way. Hot take. I am joined by my good red tiger friend, Tanner, Orange Tiger.
Got it.
Hey, real quick, by the way, you've worn the same hat like 40 days in a row. Stop it. Change hats.
It hasn't been 40.
It's been 40. What are your thoughts on that? And also, how's life this afternoon?
I got it in
Why
Hawaii,
are we doing an
so
early
it hasn't been
broadcast
40
today?
days.
It's been 40 days and 40 nights, really. Call me Adam.
Why are we doing an early podcast? Because we felt like it. Yeah, there's nothing else going on. It's just because we felt like starting early, really.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Tanner
here
has
we
some
are.
plans tonight that he has to cancel, so he wanted to start early. So, anyway, cool. Fuck Ben, and fuck Ben's mom, and welcome to the show. Today, we are doing an episode about Vanguard again, obviously. Today's basically, roughly speaking, Vanguard's second impressions. We did our first impressions episode last week. We've been playing a lot, and we have some more things we would like to discuss, good and bad, related to this video game. Some of our opinions have changed from last week, but in general, a lot of it really hasn't. For me, there's only like one really big thing that I've kind of changed my mind on that I can think of. But there's some other things as well. So that's kind of what we're doing today. And so that is that. But before we get into that, a couple of announcements. Firstly, Patreon bonus episode for this month. Our first one is up. That went live on Friday. It was a multiplayer brainstorm. Really enjoyed doing that one. So if you're a patron, let us know your thoughts, or give it a listen if you didn't know it was live. You can, by the way, link the Patreon podcast feed to your app. So you can like add it to iTunes, for example. And if you join the Discord and go to new patron onboarding, you can see a step-by-step guide I've written with pictures on how to do that. It's very easy. So then you'll get like notifications when there's new Patreon episodes. I don't know how many of you knew that, but that's a thing. Also, we're going to have our next Patreon episode. It's going up Monday morning, 3 a.m. Pacific time. So before most of you go to work, you'll have that in the queue, in the fucking lineup, in the dugout. That's what they say in, what sport is that? Soccer in the dugout, right?
Sure. Soccer, yeah.
Stay mad. Sports. So that is that. And our Monday episode was Perk Deep Dive. And Tanner and I learned a lot doing that episode because, hey, guess what? No one listening right now has read what every perk in Vanguard does. It's that simple. I promise you, you don't know what every perk does. Not because it's secret knowledge, but because you simply haven't read the description of the perks.
Yeah.
So we did an episode. We read it for you. I know many of you struggle with reading like fucking Floyd Mayweather. So we're going to help you out. Listen to the goddamn episode. And even if you can read, it was a good episode. We talked a lot about the perks, what's good for what things, and maybe some ideas you hadn't thought of. I really enjoyed doing that episode as well. So that'll be up on Monday, and then we'll have 3 more coming this month on our Patreon, which is, of course, at patreon.com/thedropshot. Best way to support the show. Best for you guys, because that's, again, where we offer all of our bonus content, and it's the best for us. So if you wanted to piss away some cash, support the show, that would be very appreciated. Do it on Patreon first, and then do it everywhere else also, obviously. Tanner is in debt to the Internal Revenue Service of the United States of America and the Fed. So we need, now more than ever, we need more patrons. And also, we need more merch purchases.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have like one XL shirt left or something. Figure it
It's
out.
like 2 or 3, yeah.
2 or 3 at thedropshot.com. You can find links to everything there, including the store. Again, I'll remind you, if you want a t-shirt, figure it out, because we're selling out of a lot of sizes. We already have sold out of some. And we are probably still in merch debt, not sure. And that's unacceptable. So if you wear a size small shirt and the only thing in stock is a double XL, buy it anyway. I don't care if you can't use it, because we're in merch debt, and figure it out. So,
got it.
But other than that, no real announcements from me at this time. We had some announcements again on the Patreon episode we did on Friday. So take a listen to that if you want kind of more behind the scenes goings-ons. So anyway, Tanner, any announcements, buddy?
Yeah, so Wednesday we had mentioned something about international orders, about orders were probably going to be canceled. I don't know what happened. The website guys were working on something. They changed something with international shipping, because I was talking to him about it, and I think the prices went down. I don't know what happened, but we didn't have to cancel any of the international orders. I think we've received like 9 of them so far, maybe. And I think like 7 of them are now all shipped out and ready to go. And we lost money on a few of them, but not like what it was going to be before. So we were okay with it. It was fine. And those are all shipped out now. So another thing, a lot of people have mentioned they haven't gotten emails from like when their order was placed or when like the order was shipped. But I also had someone else, they said they couldn't find it, and then like, oh, it was in my spam folder. So check there. Raz and I tested it beforehand. The emails were working correctly, so I don't know why so many people are having issues seeing it now. It's probably just in your spam folder. I think the email came from WooCommerce, didn't it, Raz? It's not from like one of our Dropshot emails. I'm pretty sure it's from WooCommerce. Okay, yep.
I'll check.
Someone in chat is saying his went to his junk folder, so make sure to check that, guys. And I think it's from WooCommerce, like WooCommerce. So figure that out if you can't find it anywhere.
Sorry, guys. Sorry that happened.
And of course, as Raz was just saying, I found out yesterday my taxes were done incorrect last year. So I owe the IRS $3,600 thanks to my tax person. Something was off. I owe them $3,600. So place more merch orders now. I mean, if we're not sold out of the however many glasses we have left by the end of today, I don't know what to do really. I'm gonna have to go get in the soup line or something, I guess. I don't know.
Sell his body, yeah.
Yeah. So fuck the IRS and the Fed for sure.
Ron Paul 2028.
Ron Paul 2024, 28, 32. So yeah, check your guys' junk folder if you're not seeing emails. That's it from me.
Indeed. All right. Let's get right the fuck into this broadcast. If you're listening for the jingle, here it is. And I will add, as Dusty has mentioned in chat, the merch is in fact poggers. Yeah, the merch fucks. We've been getting so many compliments on the caliber of the t-shirt, especially how comfortable it is and just fantastic.
People were saying that last night. Hang on.
Comments too. Yep, they sure were. Everyone was wearing the shirt. Be cool like them. And then people were also saying like, dude, the whiskey glass, the logo is so understated. I fucking love it, man. It looks so good. And then the coffee mug, the logo is so vibrant. I just love it. It's crazy. It's like they were saying everything I was saying to pitch the item.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So figure that out, thedropshot.com. All right, today, Vanguard second impressions, week 1 impressions. Now keep in mind, and I'm kind of guilty of this. I'm starting to maul about some things in this game. And by some things, I mean a couple things. And by a couple things, I mean 2 things. And by 2 things, I, of course, mean the STG and the MP40. However, I need, and maybe you guys also need some perspective. The game's been out for about a week. So, yeah. Hey, are those guns dumb? Sure. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Cancer. But game's only been out for about a week. So let's tone it down. Let's rein it in. And I'm sure we will be getting a balance pass very soon.
Yeah.
Kind of mad it hasn't happened already. But again, also, it's been like a fucking week. I mean, and the game just came out. I wouldn't exactly expect them to nerf those guns yet, particularly because if you want to nerf them well, you need more than a week probably to think of and figure out how do we nerf this instead of pulling an iDub and just giving it an extra damage drop off and ruining the gun forever. There are smart ways to nerf guns. They're probably looking into how to do that now, because even like just bringing in the range or just bringing down the damage values, those might be how you want to do it. I don't really know. I haven't really thought about it. But there might be better ways to do it, like make the chest multiplier from 1.6 to 1.3 or something. I don't know. And that's kind of what I'm allowing them some time to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, because they gave me a call and they were like, "Hey, should we nerf these now? Because we don't really know what to do." And I said, "No, I'll allow you to take some more time." So
yeah, and then the other thing,
I'll edit that out. So go ahead.
The other thing too is like you almost can't put a patch out in the first week as much as I'd hope for it too, because it's like a bunch of these guns no one has hardly even used yet, really. Like some of these LMGs probably, like the last couple ARs, not a lot of people use. So it's like people just say, "Oh, this gun's overpowered," but they also haven't tried anything else. So maybe they'll realize that other guns are also very good, and then someone else will find another broken setup, and then that'll let the devs kind of know, "Oh, this gun's broken too. This attachment's broken on this specific setup, so it's a disaster," and then they can patch more at once, you know?
Yeah.
That's another thing too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of a point. I was going to bring this up later, but once we get... So, like, the first weapon balancing change that's going to happen is they're going to nerf the STG and the MP40. If that is not the first weapon balance patch that happens, by the way, I'm going to lose, I'm not kidding, a lot of faith in this game.
Shotguns,
if that is not the first weapon balance, I will be flummoxed, dude. I will be mad, furious if that's not the case. I think it will be, though. I'm almost positive. So once we get the STG MP40 nerf, what's going to happen is there's going to be another gun or two that is very, very overpowered, better than everything else. And no one really knew it yet because everyone's been using an STG.
Yeah.
And then after that second mystery gun gets nerfed, then I'm hoping and kind of expecting gun balance to be pretty fucking good. Because outside of the STG and the MP40, gun balance does feel pretty good. For example, Automaton versus the BAR. Those are both assault rifles. Okay. Very different and good at very different things.
Totally.
BAR has a dog shit sprint out time, pretty bad ADS time, actually. Fair bit of recoil depending on what you want to do to it. But also it kills in 2 shots, and it's just a headshot machine. It prints headshots like the federal government prints dollars because money is fake. Fiat currency and the Fed. But the Automaton, on the other hand, fast sprint out time, good sprint out time, good handling, fast ADS time, fast rate of fire, very little recoil, not chunky though. You got to land a couple of shots to get a kill. And by the way, the BAR, insane damage range. Automaton, not so much. So they're very different. They have their own identities, but they're also relatively balanced. Like, I would prefer to use a BAR on Red Star than an Automaton. But I would prefer to use an Automaton than a BAR on Hotel Royal. Yeah. And that's how you want gun balance to be. And that's kind of my point is after, and you'd rather use the STG on all maps, by the way. So once that is nerfed, and then the second OP gun, whatever mystery gun that is, gets nerfed, then I think gun balance is going to be pretty good because by and large, it appears to be so far outside of the insanely broken guns that we have to contend with right now.
Got it. Yeah. Type 100 is probably the next most broken. And then the shotguns are a disaster too, but you can pretty much stay away from that. Well, I guess, and the Type 100. Well, no, not the Type 100, but you can stay away from shotguns by not playing DOS House pretty much. So,
yeah,
you don't run into them a whole lot, so it's not a big issue. So, most of the time, it's still STGs I'm dying to over and over and over again.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, before we continue, so this is a random list of good, bad, indifferent observations.
These are in no order.
This isn't even split into pros and cons or anything. These are just second impressions in a list. There's no, some things are going to be good, some are bad. We haven't segmented them. So, and in no particular order as usual. So what is this next point here, Tanner?
Okay, so I'm realizing now a lot of the maps that I originally thought were good just are not really. Decoy especially, I do not like this map at all now. I just don't. It plays so weird since it's like angled. It's like, it's 3 lanes, but it's angled. You get like weird angles on it. Everyone's always not where you expect them to be. The sight lines are really bad. It's just weird. I really don't like it at all. A lot of the maps still, it's hard to gauge how good they are because of the spawns. The spawns are so bad. Like Dome. I think once the spawns are fixed on Dome, it'll be decent, but Dome is pretty much one of the bottom 3 maps in the game right now because of the spawns. You constantly spawning literally inside of people. It's horrible. Easily one of the worst maps in the game right now because of that reason. But like the map itself is fine. It's the spawns make it seem a lot worse. So it's like once, yeah, but we don't know that. You shake your head, but if their team is always spawning on the other side of the map, it's going to make the whole thing play entirely different.
Definitely get better. Yeah, it would definitely get better.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah. I think it'll be okay once that happens. But yeah, so things are just kind of changing. And then, so like my top 3 maps right now are Demyonks, which I liked originally. That was one of my favorites. Desert Siege is one of my favorites now, which I did not like on launch at all. I'm realizing now that's another good one. And then Bocage I liked on launch. I still like right now. With that being said, though, the maps that I think are worse now than I originally thought, none of them are horrible. They just aren't very good, you know? None of these are like that bad, really. It's just like some are, there's a couple that are really good. There's some that are good. There's some that are okay. And then they're like, they're whatever. But it's like, I think that's also maybe because I'm going for like weapon camos right now. Like Oasis fucking sucks. You can't get by mid. But when I'm going for long shots, I like getting Oasis because it's so easy to get long shots. And every map you get is, or every kill you get is a long shot because you can't get past mid. So you're on your spawn, shooting to their spawn. It's just all long shots. So it's easy to do when you're going for camos. If I was just playing to actually like try to do well and win, I would hate the map then. But it's like what I'm going for right now makes me kind of feel different about certain maps too. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so we're not going to go through like every single map, but I totally agree. By and large, my opinion on a lot of the maps has actually changed, mostly for the worse, unfortunately. Like Tanner said, I am in 100% agreement on Decoy. Don't like that map anymore. Yep. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened to me, but it's not a good map. I don't like playing Decoy at all. And on like, last week, you're like, oh, Decoy is fine, whatever. But then some maps, like I'm actually starting to enjoy a little bit more too. So like Eagle's Nest, for example. If you just stay away from the lane that has the one that's like
I don't know how
pathway,
to describe it. It's like an alleyway.
Like the ceiling.
Yeah.
That lane, I'm not kidding, literally never go there. And then Eagle's Nest is actually pretty fun because the other lane, the other outside of the, not mid, obviously, the other lane, basically, the other side of the map. It's actually like bifurcates into 2 lanes where you can like hug the wall or you can go down the pathway where to your right or to your side, I guess you can fall off the map. Because of that split, you can take that lane pretty reliably. And if you want to get to the other side of the map or to mid even, and not die, you're going to have to kill someone on your way. There will be someone there, but you can like walk down it. Whereas the other lane, it's only one way and therefore it's impossible to go there because there's some fucking rat just hard scoping it the entire game or 2 or 3 of them every game. I literally never go there. And now I like Eagle's Nest a lot more actually. For example, Hotel Royal, still hate it. Not the worst map in this game anymore, though. I'm starting to like it more.
Just don't go inside.
Have to play outside.
Yeah. You like think it's a joke, but really, I don't go inside.
Yeah. My mistake was playing the like, I can't even describe it. The hallways, I guess, outside of Hotel Royal. Those are a disaster too. You need to play like by where that ladder that drops down inside is. It's like I don't know, but it's like There are a lot of elevation changes in this area I'm talking about. If you play around there, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty fun.
Yeah,
the only problem though is that as soon as they get streaks, you will be the only one, and you'll die to all of them.
True.
That's what's annoying.
It's easy to flank from going up on the roof there, and then you can get around them, and you're behind the whole team, and they're not even looking at you. That's what I find a lot.
And you can shoot in to like, you can shoot down into the building from like 2 separate areas that are really close.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then there, you know, like Bocage, my opinion hasn't changed. I love that map. Let's see. Castle's awful. It's fine, but I don't like it. I feel the same way. What else has my opinion changed on? Demyansk, I really like. Numa Numa, I still really like. Oasis is now the worst map in the game, unequivocally, and it's that simple. It has no redeeming qualities. I hate it. Maybe it's good for long shots. That would be the only good thing about it.
That's one of the few maps I feel like will be good for leveling snipers, too. You see a lot of snipers on that map.
Yeah, and no one moves because you can't.
Yeah.
It's not possible. So yeah, that would be good for snipers, too. Red Star still fucking sucks. Subpens, by the way,
kind of growing on me.
Really?
Again, for like long shots and stuff like that, though.
Hmm.
The map sucks, but there are certain cheeky little angles you can get that are fun. Just cheeked up.
Just double cheeked up angles. Subpens, by the way, I was like, oh, maybe I'll like this map on certain modes. Wrong. Hey. Nope. Fuck that map. Subpens blows dicks. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Subpens is even worse. So fuck subpens. Yeah. So anyways, by and large, my opinion on most maps has actually gotten worse, but on a couple, it's improved, and that's going to continue to change. This happens with me, and I would imagine most people, every single year. I remember when, like, Modern Warfare, well, every map's bad. Like Black Ops 4, Cold War, I'd like certain maps, dislike others, changed over time. That's going to continue to happen, but by and large, I would say the maps I still think are quite good on the whole, compared to Modern Warfare and Cold War, since Cold War has 2 maps on launch, so that's pretty nice. Let's see. Also, something I'm learning is a lot of the maps are mode dependent extremely heavily. And I've brought this up before, but it's the best example. Gavutu. I actually do like Gavutu on Hardpoint. I think it's pretty fucking fun on Hardpoint, and it's a good map on Hardpoint. But on Domination, see ya, backing out. Because as soon as one team takes B on that boat, the game is over. You're never taking it back, and it's that simple. So Gavutu is just a dog shit, terrible domination map, but it's a pretty fun and good hardpoint map. Because hardpoint forces you to move out of these power positions if you want to play the objective at all. You can still hold the boat for the whole game on Gavutu on hardpoint, don't get me wrong, but people tend to do it a lot less. So like, a lot of maps are like that too. It's like, it's very, very mode dependent. Tuscan is another one. I don't like Tuscan on Dom. It's fine, but I don't like it. It's a little too big. But
there's too many little lanes
big.
and alleyways.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Exactly.
It's not big. It's just split up weird.
Yes, it's too. Like too many areas are like cordoned off and like separate from each other. Like I can't shoot you from here at all. But like, you know, on fucking Oasis, dog shit map. But if you're anywhere, you can shoot like most, I don't know. It's not a good example, but Tuscan's like fine, whatever. But like Tuscan on Hardpoint, again, pretty fun.
Yeah, true.
You have to move around, you know.
Hardpoint generally makes everything better because all the action's in like one spot pretty much.
That's kind of true too. But then like Desert Siege, that's a great Dom map. I love that map for Dom.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
You know. So I just feel like a lot of the maps in this game are very mode dependent, which is fine.
I guess most games are like that, really. Like, what was the one map we liked on Modern Warfare? It was entirely too big, played well in 10s, though.
Gunrunner?
No. It had the church in
Ramaza?
it. No. It was kind of like a farm, almost. Fuck, what was that map called?
Wait.
No.
10s?
We played it in 10s, but it was way too big for 10s.
Oh, Arklov.
Yeah, Arklov was a really fun domination map in Modern Warfare, but like Hardpoint and shit was awful on that map because like the map was so big so that like the hard point would be on one side of the map and then the next one would be the opposite corner. So by the time you rotate, the other team would have already had it for 25 seconds uncontested, basically. So I think that's just how it is in general. We've just really been thinking about that more in this game.
That is, I remember specifically complaining about that, you and me. Like, dude, by the time I get to the next point on our club specifically, that's funny.
That's how all of Modern Warfare maps were in hard point and shit like that. It was just unplayable because of that.
Unplayable, yeah. So, next here, at first, also, I felt like a lot of the ARs were like super similar, but I mean, I hadn't used that many of them, but there is some distinctive identities even within a weapon category. Again, BAR. It's in the assault rifle category, but it feels so different to like an STG, well, an automaton or a Volk. It has its own identity, which I like that a lot, actually. Like it has a very noticeably slow sprint out time, for example, and I lose every gunfight up close because of it. Like my gun can't shoot before I'm dead. Against other ARs too, STGs. But I like that because on a big map, again, that thing fucks so hard.
Yep.
And it seems to me that there are a lot of individual distinctive identities even within weapon categories, which I quite like because I was a little afraid that every AR was going to feel exactly the same. Every SMG was going to feel exactly the same, etc. Doesn't seem that way, though.
I agree.
Doesn't seem that way.
I'm sure that'll change again. By the time we get every gun max, we'll have different opinions on that. But for now, yeah, like the BAR and what's the other one? The Itra Burst fucking that's worse up close. At least mine's not max level. Mine's like level 38. That is so much worse up close, I think, than a BAR even. But at range, if someone like just spawns in and they're running directly towards you, you click once, you fire one burst. If all 4 of those bullets hit, that person's dead. So it's like it fries in situations like that. But when you get in a pinch up close, you're gonna lose most gunfights. So that's kind of nice to have that we have ARs that you do have like close range guns, medium to long range guns. It's nice to have like those differences, even though they're all like in the same category.
Yes, 100%. Because sometimes like you want. Like if you're playing Shoot House, to use a Modern Warfare analogy, you might want to use like an M13, like fucking fast handling. You can handle yourself up close, but also you want to be able to shoot down a lane. Whereas on, Arklov, you might want to run a fucking, I don't know, what's a longer range AR in that game? Maybe an FAL, maybe a SCAR. MP Control Ward thinks that's the best AR in that game. So maybe you'd want to run a SCAR because you're okay with like the slower handling and shit. But you still want AR range no matter what. That's good. And it seems like this game kind of has that. So, yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
What is this next little item here, Tanner?
Next up, I still think 6v6 is boring and dog shit on almost all of the maps. I don't know. It just seems like there's never enough players. If I didn't have the ability to play Assault and Blitz on every map, I would probably think differently. But since I can, Assault just feels so much better on almost every single map in the game. I mean, even DOS House 6v6 feels almost slow to me now. I don't know, because I'm just so used to having all these players on the map, and I like that feeling. Again, probably because I'm going for camos, maybe I won't feel the same way in a few months when I have Atomic and want to actually do well. I probably won't like Blitz as much, but right now, it's just a lot of fun. Assault, I think, is still the sweet spot. Unfortunately, I feel like we don't get Assault often. It's like...
Yeah, we really don't.
It's not very common. It seems like it's either Blitz or you get put into a 6v6. So, kind of weird. Tactical. But again, like we were just saying with the maps... Like, for example, Decoy on Blitz is awful. Unplayable, horrible shit. Decoy Blitz is, I think, 12v12. It is terrible. Decoy is actually decent when it's 6v6, and it's okay when it's Assault, too. That makes it a little bit better. But 12 people on that map, not good at all. Weird angles, like I was saying. it just doesn't play well whatsoever. But then like a map like Berlin, which is very large, isn't fun on anything except for Blitz, which is 24 versus 24. And it still really doesn't feel like there's too many people on the map. It kind of just seems like you're playing Ground War or something. I like how it plays. And then Demyonks, I think, is one of the only maps that plays well on all combat pacing options. We played that earlier on 6s. We played it plenty of time on Blitz. Because it's so open, I think, it plays well no matter what, because they spawn on the other side of the map, but you can see them, even though they're so far back, you can see them spawning there. It's not like split up like Tuscan is into a bunch of little alleyways and lanes and everything.
Yes, it's open, but it's not too big, so it can play with anything.
Exactly. But so for the most part, I think Assault is the sweet spot. Blitz is very fun on a lot of maps. 6 is just boring to me now. I don't know if 6v6 Call of Duty will ever be fun to me at this point anymore.
Yeah, this is kind of the thing, is like, and this is one of the things MDub did right that I kind of wish this game did, is that MDub had 6's maps, 10's maps, and Ground War maps. And like, there were, at least in the beginning, there were 10's maps you could not play in 6's or Ground War. There were 6's maps you couldn't play in the other two, and then obviously Ground War you couldn't play in the other two either. And that made sense. Did they execute that idea well? Of course not. All the maps were too big. But the idea was there, and I wish this game had that. Like, there shouldn't be a Blitz dome. They can't do it. Stop. DOS House even. Probably shouldn't just shouldn't be a Blitz.
I like guess. Blitz DOS House. It fucks, I think.
It's fun. It's such a meme that sure, whatever. But, like, you should not be allowed to play 6v6 Berlin. That shouldn't be an option. That map is far too big to ever be 6's only. It's just too big.
Red Star, too.
Red Star is another one. Like, these should not allow for 6v6. They're too big. It's way too fucking slow. And I wish that they had done this because, if you get Red Star fucking Dom 6's, okay.
Oh
cool.
My God. Yeah.
This is a disaster. Holy shit. Not fun at all. So that's really annoying, but I do agree, by the way, on Demyansk. It does play on every pacing. Cause again, like you said, it's open, but it's not like huge. Yeah. It's like a medium-sized map, but it's open enough to where, no matter what the pacing, you're not going to be trapped in a room or an alley or a lane with 12 other people. It's too open for that to happen. So I really like Demyansk. I think it's a super fucking solid map.
It's also good on all modes. Fun on Dom, fun on Hardpoint, fun on Patrol. All of them.
Yep. The B location is perfect. There's like the rock for cover, but it's not too much. It's not in a building.
Yeah.
It's really
once they figure out the spawns a little bit more and do some more tweaking, it'll be even better. Because even now, like, there will be none of your teammates will be on their side of the map, but they'll have randomly 1 or 2 people spawn on your, like, say you're in the tower at church, randomly 1 or 2 players on their team will spawn like down to your right towards the edge of the map or like behind you out of nowhere, even though you have no teammates on the other side. But again, stuff like weapon balancing and spawns, I expect those to be shit, honestly, for the first month of the game. There hasn't been a first-person shooter that's came out in the last 5 years that didn't have messed up spawns or guns on launch. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I agree. And then that kind of leads into this next point here. I'm not sure combat pacing selection will ever work. And I'm beginning to think that when you go to your quick play filter and you select your combat pacing, I think what you're doing is setting your preferred pacing. I don't think you're setting the only pacing you'll be allowed to play, but it's just not working right now. I'm starting to think that's not the case. They haven't said anything about this not working. It's not on their Trello board. And also SBMM. So I'm playing for hours in a row, seeing the same handful of people in a lot of my matches. Now, Vanguard, there's a fuck ton of people playing it, so how is that possible? SBMM, obviously. And if you're allowed to set what mode and pacing you want, that might be too refined of a search to be possible if they want to have fairly strict SBMM. So I'm very deeply concerned that setting what combat pacing you want to play will never work. No, they haven't said dick about it that I've seen. Surprisingly, I'm not seeing people complain about it either, which is pissing me off. I don't want to play tactical. I just don't. If I want to, let me select it. But this combat pacing shit is really annoying. And there are a lot of times where I'm like, God damn it, man. I wish I could just play Assault like I fucking selected. So cringe. And I'm worried that this is never going to work in the way that we think it should. What do you think?
Yeah, it probably never will be like exactly like that. If not a lot of people have blitz selected or something and aren't queuing for that at the exact same time, then yeah, it'll just throw you in Assault. I would imagine they can't make it so, well, they could make it so you only queue for that, but then that eventually would lead to probably long queue times and stuff like that. And like you were saying, skill-based matchmaking would have to be less strict because of that. So I don't know. I mean, most of the time now when we get 6s, we usually just back out. Because every time we get 6s, I swear it's like Desert Siege 6s, which is awful. Red Star, something way too big. And we think, okay, we're backing out of this and we just don't play in that lobby. So, yeah, it'll probably never be, quote, working correctly like how we thought and hoped it would be.
I actually want to go into the game and see what it says or if it says anything. I'm going to take a look at that. But anyway, yeah, and that's super unfortunate. But again, it's like I've been seeing the same people in so many of my games that I'm like, wait, how is this happening? It's like, oh, I forgot SBMM. It's like insanely strict too, because there's no chance I'm seeing the same people in 4 games in a row with a game that's been out for a week that has crossplay. There's just no way. It has to be SBMM. Obviously, we all know that, but that's kind of what I was thinking. So anyway. What is this next point here, Tanner?
Where are we at? Okay, yeah, game performance is still really, really good. I think I'm at like 42 to 45 hours in the game since it launched. I have not crashed once. Not once. The only issues you kind of have are like server snapshot errors, which is basically the server crashes, not you. I haven't crashed a desktop once, and I've gotten the server snapshot maybe 5 times, but that's every single person is also crashing at the same time. It's not like it's just like a one-off and just some random issue with just you. So I don't know what it is. I'm actually shocked that I've been able to play this long and I haven't crashed once. So I guess Call of Duty was right when they said to use that in NVIDIA driver, that older one maybe. I don't know. But it's been working very well for me. So
yeah, same here.
Yeah. Frame rates are good too. It's nice.
Yep. Some people are crashing a lot. Or I don't know if they're crashing or they're getting that snapshot error. So snapshot error is something I've gotten a couple times. It doesn't crash your game, it just crashes your lobby. So it takes you back to like the main menu and you have to, or the multiplayer menu, and then you have to like requeue. But that's only happened to me maybe 5 times, if that. But yeah, the performance in general, like Tanner was saying, has been excellent. I haven't crashed once. I haven't crashed a desktop once. I might have dev errored once. I don't remember. But even still, that's insane. Like, the performance has been excellent. Frames are consistent and high and about what I would expect given my system. And also, really big point, no stuttering, dude. I have not stuttered once in this game. And that has not happened in Cold War or MW. And I can play for hours in a row and I don't stutter either. It's like there's no memory leak in this game ever. Like, it's fucking awesome. It's insane how well this game runs. And it looks pretty good, too.
Yeah.
It's not like it's fucking Roblox graphics and that's why it runs well. It looks pretty good.
Yep.
It looks pretty good.
Looks good.
Does it look as good as MW? No. But I don't care.
Close,
MW was
not
also
quite.
a shit game. It is pretty close, but yeah, not quite. It looks pretty fucking good. And animations are like fluid and shit, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Again, not as like realistic and cool animations or sounds as MW, but better than Cold War by a lot, and certainly serviceable level. So that is all I'm very, very pleased with. And especially I'm pleased with it given that it's fucking like on day one, the performance is really good. Like it's really shocking to me, actually. I'm very surprised by it.
Yeah.
But I'm very pleased. By the way, I went into the game, went to the quick play filter, and I was looking at combat pacing. And when you want to change it, the keybind is R, and what R does is change preference.
Preference, yeah.
So confirmed, it's never going to queue for only what you want. Combat pacing preference defines the number of players in a match. Choose assault, pacing, whatever. So yeah. So that'll never work at like we thought it was supposed to.
It's still
That's
probably
really
bugged though
fucking
to an
annoying.
extent though, because we get like if we queue for assault. I mean, I always have it queued for assault, and it's like we get assault maybe 30% of the time, 40% of the time. It's more blitz than anything, but I guess
I think with our SBMM, it literally is just random.
That could be it too.
This probably works for someone who's like 1.0 or like 0.9.
I understand though why it can't be like guaranteed, because I can't guarantee you're going to be put into that necessarily, because that's splitting up the player base a lot. If you have tactical dom, assault dom, blitz dom, and then you have that for every game mode and for core and hardcore. So I still think it is messed up though that you don't get your preference nearly as often as you should. But we'll see if they eventually say anything about that or make any patches to it. I feel like they probably will.
I hope so. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say. That's another thing that's annoying about it too, is that like if it's just a preference, people aren't going to complain about it as much because they're just going to assume they got unlucky and their preference wasn't met. If in fact it's actually bugged and preference doesn't do anything, it's hard to notice because you're still going to get them eat. If it's doing nothing, you're still going to get each one like 33% of the time. So yeah, that's fucking annoying. Yeah. What's your next little item here, Tanner?
Okay, I don't know if this is good or bad yet. I haven't decided, but the guns are so easy to set up to have 0 recoil. Like, none of my guns have recoil. Every single one I've been using so far, and I've gotten maxed out and used quite a bit, I can still set it up to have fast ADS and just 0 recoil. They're just most of the guns are laser beam. I do like what they've done this year, though, with, like, the initial recoil and accuracy stat and then the sustained fire. So it's like kind of cool because I set up my bar and I noticed, I'm like, holy shit, this setup is really good. But once you get to like the 8th shot, which on a bar that's a pretty long time firing those first 8 shots, it's not real quick. But it's like once you get to that, the recoil, like that sustained recoil kicks in and it goes crazy. So I was looking, I'm like, what can I do to help control that? And then I looked and I had like a proficiency or kit. Still don't know what the difference is. I'll never know probably. But one of them was like +1 recoil control during sustained fire. I was like, oh wow, okay, let's try this. And I used it and it fixed my issue. It made it so much better. So I like that a lot. I mean, the whole bloom and accuracy shit is cringe in general, but we'll get into that more next, but it hasn't been as big of an issue as I thought it would be. So, yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because everyone's going to eventually have guns with 0 recoil. I mean, it's not much different than Modern Warfare. Maybe Modern Warfare guns in general had more. I'm trying to think of like,
I don't know.
Like a Modern Warfare AK, you could not kit out to have low recoil and quick ADS. It was one or the other. Same with like the Scar. You could do it. You can get it to have low recoil, but the ADS would be awful. Like the automaton in this game, absolutely 0 recoil and crazy ADS speed. Like I have mine, like all of the recoil and accuracy attachments on it, like sustained, initial, recoil, and that thing is just an absolute laser beam. I have 0 attachments. I don't think that increase ADS speed. Maybe like 1, maybe like the grip or something. But it just doesn't need it. And it's just straight firing the entire magazine. You can put the 75 round drum on and the thing does not move at all. So it makes guns like that fun to use. In the long run though, this won't necessarily be a good thing. I don't know, but it's just kind of something I noticed is guns are pretty easy to kit out to be very good.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. It's like, especially with 10 attachments too, it's no surprise really. You can set up pretty much every gun that I've used so far to have no recoil, but depending on the gun, you're going to suffer some pretty significant drawbacks or not. So like the automaton by default doesn't have much recoil.
Yeah, true.
So you don't have to you won't get punished that much for setting it up to have even less recoil because you don't have to do that much to have it have 0 recoil because it doesn't have to like go much farther, but like the bar by default has a decent amount of recoil. And if you start putting those fucking 50 cal rounds in it, it has a lot of recoil. But that's good because it also kills in like one headshot. So it's like, that's nice. And I will add, which I didn't think of, but I'm glad Tanner brought it up. The initial recoil and sustained fire recoil stats are really smart, good ways to add balance to the game. Because like you can, you can have a gun that's like, in general, it would be dumb to have bad initial but good sustained. You probably wouldn't do that. But there are things you could do, like on the bar. It's like, okay, you know what? This barrel's really good, but it has bad sustained fire recoil. I'm going to use it anyway, and I'm just going to have to learn to play around that. And what does that look like? Okay, well, I'm only going to fire like 4 bullets before I start galloping. Or just like let off the trigger for a second, start firing again to reset that sustained recoil timer, as it were. And that's really cool, because that's a good way to balance the gun. Because now you have to do that, and you're not able to just constantly hold down the fucking trigger and just kill everybody on your screen. If you want the benefits of, in this example, that barrel or whatever. I think that's really cool, a really cool idea, and a very good way to balance a lot of these attachments. And then I'll also add, the attachment balance seems fairly good so far. A lot of the barrels are just shit and not worth using, I think. I have to experiment with them more, frankly.
I'm starting to find more that are good. Yeah. I think like, yeah.
Go ahead.
I feel like it's more like the SMG barrels. Some of them kind of suck, and then like the LMG ones. But AR barrels all seem, there's a couple that are good, but we say that they're not good, but the reason they're not good is because they have drawbacks, which is what you need for something like that. So it'll like increase recoil control and accuracy, say, but it'll decrease like velocity, damage range, ADS speed, movement speed, things like that. So they have good trade-offs for them, I think. The only ones that need trade-offs and don't have them are things like Vital, but that's like bugged right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what's cool too, is like there are some attachments that just don't have any cons, but just the pros aren't as crazy. It's like one of the last underbarrels, I think, you can unlock for an AR.
It's like a steady grip.
It has no cons, and it's just like +1 recoil control, +1 accuracy, or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's recoil control and something else. I don't remember what it is, but it is good.
Yeah,
I've been running that.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no cons on it. Or you could take another one that is like +2 recoil control, but -1 ADS speed. Like, okay, cool. That's a good way to balance it. Depending on the gun, I might not give a shit about my ADS speed, so I'll take the extra recoil control.
Yeah.
And then on another gun, it's like, this thing's already ADS and kind of slow. I don't want to ruin it anymore. So I'm going to take the attachment that helps my recoil control, but doesn't hurt. But it just doesn't help it as much as the other one. And then it doesn't hurt my ADS time. I think they've done a, like, surprisingly pretty good job so far with the attachment balance.
Yeah.
And this is subject to change. We have not used every attachment, not even fucking close, and not on every gun. So we're going to learn some attachments are like really busted or really dog shit. But for now, I'm surprised at how like relatively well or relatively close to balance like all of this shit is. And the 10 attachments are also not overwhelming at all, it seems like, because there aren't that many attachments in each category. Like barrels, there's like 3 or 4 per gun. It's like, okay, yeah, there's 10 slots, but like 3 or 4, that's fine.
Exactly.
There's a lot of like muzzles. Well, even muzzles, there aren't that many. Maybe 8 to 10. Like there's a lot of like grips and underbarrels, but it's not overwhelming in my opinion.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
far, which I'm surprised by, honestly. And then next here is the bloom issue. I've noticed bloom more when I'm trying to use an SMG at medium to medium long range than I have on like an AR. Like the Owen gun is the worst bloom I've used yet. There are often times where my reticle, I'm positive, is on them and I'm not getting hit reg, but they're also like 35 meters out. And I'm using an SMG. Maybe I shouldn't be hitting those. I mean, bloom in general is still cringe, but It's not that bad on like ARs and LMGs. I haven't even noticed it, I don't think, once on an AR or an LMG ever. But I've noticed it a fair amount on the Owen gun specifically, but only at like long ranges.
Yeah.
So bloom is cringe, but I've played a lot of hours. Still hasn't bothered me outside of an Owen gun at relatively long ranges. So it might be less of an issue than it sounds like it would be. I don't know.
Yeah, I also haven't used the AS-44 assault rifle yet, like at all, and I think that's the one with like the worst AR bloom. I've used the Automaton, which had like nothing. The STG didn't have a whole lot. The BAR, I don't think it had a ton. I don't remember. I think it's like the Itra and the AS-44 the worst. So we'll probably notice it more once we get more into those guns. But it is nice though being able to lower that with the accuracy. Like Battlefield, for example. Battlefield has bloom. I'm almost positive there's just nothing you can do about it. I think the game just has bloom. At least you can lower it in this game by using attachments. Whereas, yeah, Battlefield, I think you're just screwed. And it doesn't matter because the bloom is there and there's nothing you can do about it. But this game, you can at least lower it. So that's nice to know. But yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been noticing it a huge amount. I'm sure I will once I get to certain guns. And yeah, like SMG long shots are difficult, but also a lot of the SMGs bounce around quite a bit too. But that's just something you have to do in hardcore. You can't do SMG long shots quickly in core at all. Load into hardcore, sit in a corner somewhere, mount up. You'll get long shots fairly quickly. A lot quicker than core.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Next point here. I am unsure if it is because everyone uses Ninja/Dead Silence or not, but I don't hear footsteps at all. I just don't. I don't think I've heard an enemy footstep at least since last week.
I don't know if I've ever heard one, yeah.
And that's pretty annoying. However, I don't know if this is... So first of all, it's impossible to tell if the audio is better from beta, because I still don't hear anyone, and I just don't know if it's because everyone's using Ninja and Dead Silence or if the audio didn't improve. However, people are just always on my minimap anyway, so I don't even care that much. Like in Modern Warfare, people are just never on your minimap, right?
Yeah.
So when people pop Dead Silence in Modern Warfare, you're fucked. And that game's just a lot slower paced in general for a lot of reasons. So that's another thing where audio is a lot more important. Like we were talking about, in 6's audio is more important than in, fucking 12s on DOS House. But again, the audio not being able to hear people, shockingly enough, hasn't really bothered me much. Because I feel like everyone's just on my minimap at all times anyway, with or without the radar perk, by the way. That doesn't really matter. Like, I rarely get snuck up on and killed from behind, and the only reason I died is because I didn't hear them. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just because every map is such chaos and the spawns are so dog shit that I haven't thought about it. But I haven't really been in a situation often where it's like, fuck, wish I could have heard that guy. Because usually it's like, okay, well, 8 people spawned behind me, so I died. Or he was on the mini-map, I knew he was there, but I died anyway. And so the audio is like, I can't hear people. That's true. Bothers me way less than I thought it would, though, because people are just always on mini-map, it feels like.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts
I agree. I don't even pay attention to that almost, because, yeah, everyone's always on mini-map. I think another reason is... because as we've said, the streaks aren't good in this game, so everyone runs UAV. Whereas in Modern Warfare 2019, I didn't run UAV because I was a kill chain rat. So I would start at cruise missile. I would call in a cruise missile. I would get 3 kills with that. Then I'd have my VTOL. I'd call in my VTOL. That'd get another 4 kills or 3 kills, whatever it was, to get White Foss, and then the whole map would be on fire. They'd be White Foss. I'd be poison gassing them.
Yeah, you'd be committing war crimes.
I'd be committing war crimes. But this game, since you can't do that, your streak kills don't count towards your streak, and the streaks all suck. Everyone runs UAV. Everyone does. So then that also makes the sounds matter a lot less. So I haven't been too worried about this anymore. Ninja hasn't bothered me. Dead Silence. I mean, every once in a while, I'll be like, I was standing still. How did I not hear that guy? And then I watched the kill cam. I'm like, okay, he had ninja. That's why I didn't hear him. That's fucking annoying. Whatever. Don't care though.
Yeah.
So not a big issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is good because I was very worried about that.
I was worried too. Yeah. And you made a really good point because the streaks are so bad. Everyone just runs UAV. What the fuck else are you going to run?
Yeah. What am I going to
Guard dog?
Death machine? Yeah. I mean, what am I doing? I do run guard dog, and that shows you how bad they are. There's nothing better than guard dog even. Holy shit, man.
I know. I've been running, dude, I'm running Intel counter UAV attack dogs. That's my setup. Holy
shit. Yikes.
Intel fucks, by the way. Intel's really good because you only need 3 kills. And like, I've always got that thing on me. I just have a permanent fucking little mini UAV because I don't care about my team. I don't need to run UAV, but I run Intel. Counter UAV, best streak in the game. Hot take. Hey, hot take. Counter UAV is the best streak in the game. When I'm counter UAV'd, here's the thing, okay? I'm glad I thought of this. Because everyone is either silent because of a perk, a field upgrade, or a bad development studio, you can't hear anyone. And therefore, you're very reliant on the minimap. So, if you're counter UAV'd, you have no information, dude. It is insanely good how counter UAV is in this game because audio doesn't exist. You guys need to fucking run counter UAV.
No, don't run it. I don't want everyone on the other team to be running it. Don't run counter UAV. It sucks.
You're right. We'll edit this out. We'll edit this out. But if you think this is cap, I want you to be counter UAV'd and count how many seconds it takes for you to die. It's going to be quick, dude. Counter UAV is the best streak in this game. You will get the most kills for your team with that streak, and it's that simple. Hot take. Oh, you got a flame knot? Cool, man. Have fun with your 3 kills. I'll call in a 4-kill streak, counter UAV. My team will get 12 kills. It is so good in this game because of the lack of audio. Big, giant brain take. The problem with counter UAV, though, is that if you're running UAV and your team has up to 2 UAVs up at the time, you can still call it in. If your team has 1 counter UAV up, you can't call yours in until it goes away. So there are times where I'm just sitting on a counter UAV because someone else on my team is using it also. You can't call in 2 at the same time. It won't let you. But with UAV, you can have up to 3 at the same time. So that's annoying, but still, counter UAV is just so good.
Yeah.
If you want to if you care about really winning good. Or even getting kills yourself, it's really good too. Especially if you yourself are running Ninja and then you pop counter UAV, dude, you can get the nastiest fucking flanks. And especially if you're running Intel, because you'll know where they are. They won't know where you are. They can't. It's not possible. And you can go fuck their ass. Yeah. Really good streak.
True.
Yeah.
Good point.
Next, it is still fairly rare, which I'm happy about, but I'm starting to see some quick scopers. Starting to see them. I saw none for a couple days after release, but now I'm starting to see a couple. Pretty rare still, but I have unfortunately encountered the fun and exciting gameplay experience of shooting someone because I see their glint, getting hit markers, and then dying to that same person. That fun and exciting gameplay experience has happened to me a couple times now. I don't know why. Maybe people are leveling their snipers. I know that there are flinch resistance, attachments and proficiencies maybe for some of these snipers that might be helping them a lot. I don't know. I haven't really been touching snipers too much.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to see them quick scopers. Not too many, not enough to where it's an epidemic. And I'm hoping it doesn't escalate to that area. I don't think it will. Time to kill is too fast. But I'm starting to see them. How about you? Are you seeing these guys?
Not a whole lot with snipers. I have seen it a lot with marksman rifles, though, which is actually worse because they're semi-auto and like the SVT one taps to the chest. One of the camo challenges for the marksman rifle, I don't know if it is for snipers too. I haven't equipped a sniper at all. But the marksman rifles, you have to get 100 quick scope kills with that gun. So you're going to see kids running around with that thing constantly. And
true.
Yeah, those things. I mean, they're more powerful than the bolt action sniper rifles, it seems.
Yeah. I haven't touched a marksman rifle yet.
I've been killed to it plenty of times.
But I've died to an SVT a number of times. Yeah, that thing fucks. So yeah. So anyway, that's kind of a minor point, but I'm starting to see them. Next, shotguns are fucking disgusting. Now, I said this last week, and then I also naively said, well, it wasn't naive.
Yeah, no one was using it at the time.
Yeah, I also said, oh, this is crazy. I don't know why no one's using them. They're so fucking good. Okay, well, hey, I had fun for those 2 days because everyone's using them now. Caveat, though, I only see them on DOS House.
Yeah.
They've been relegated to DOS House. I don't see shotguns anywhere else, which I'm thrilled about. But on DOS House, you will see a shotgun plus 11. All of them are shotguns. Everyone uses a shotgun, and they fuck so hard. And all of them are good, by the way. All of the shotguns are good. There isn't a bad shotgun. Combat shotgun's good. The first shotgun you get is good. The full auto one is good. The fucking Akimbo Model 1887s, those are real good too. They're all good. Like every shotgun's real fucking good. They all have a lot of range and they will all one frame you, which is both fun and exciting. So shotguns are really good. And also, they're never going to not be good. DOS House is never going to not be infected with shotguns. They're always going to be insane on that map.
Yep.
It's that simple. And remove shotguns from video games, but yeah.
Yeah, even it's like once they nerf them quite a bit, it'll still just be overrun on the shotguns and they'll still be too good.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do to make them not be insane on DOS House.
Yeah. Yeah, like people had talked about the semi-auto one not being good, but then someone figured out a class setup and they posted a 33-second nuke on Twitter that went viral using that setup with that semi-auto shotgun with gung-ho. And I don't know if gung-ho's bugged or if it's the way it's supposed to be, but when you shoot, your character moves like actually 1.5 times the speed. It's fucking insane. That's zoom.
Wait, is that gung-ho?
It's gung-ho that does that.
I think there's a different thing that like speeds you up after a kill.
Well, it does, but gung-ho, when you're shooting, it speeds you up a ton the entire time you have the trigger held down.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so from what I had seen, it's probably bugged, hopefully. But yeah, so that shotgun's insane. And the double barrel shotgun, everyone runs the Akimbo version. I don't know if it sucks without it or if it's because there's a camo challenge where you have to use the Akimbo. If it is, fuck Sledgehammer, the development studio. I no longer support them. If they made that a camo challenge, I'm not sure though. I've only done the combat shotgun to kind of try to level it up. And I only have it like in the 30s or 40s, I think. So I'm not sure, but it is insane seeing the difference between a game on DOS House with no shotguns and a game with shotguns. All I was trying to do all day was go for long shots, sit at mid, try to get long shots. Some lobbies you just can't because their entire team will be shotgunning. They push into your spawn. I'm dead from the side every single time. I left 2 lobbies today because I'm not kidding. There were Prestige 3 gamers in there running riot shields and combat shotguns, running around the map, gold combat shotgun, of course, destroying everybody. I did it for about 2.5 minutes. I was like, nah, not interested in this. Backed out. Not playing that. So that's what I've been doing on DOS House lately. If everyone's just shotgunning, see ya. I'm fucking gone. I was trying to find a better lobby because last night I was playing for a few hours, hardly ran into any shotguns. And I think it's because all the cracked gamers were in bed or something, or probably just waking up for the day. I don't know. But they were a lot easier
Mommy
last
put all
night.
the little kids to sleep.
Yeah. And then today they've been full of shotguns again, so go figure.
What sucks too is that map is so small, it only takes actually one person using a shotgun to ruin it. I'm not kidding. I was playing, I literally had that experience today. I was playing DOS House. I was using an MP40. No one on their team was using a shotgun except one guy. And I was doing fine. But every single time I saw that one guy, he, of course, just ripped me. And I was like, fuck, god damn it. Just the one guy is forcing me to also use a shotgun. So I put that thing on, ran through all of them, including that rat. Because they're just so good. So dumb. So yeah, it literally takes one guy using a shotgun. And it's so much better than every other type of weapon in that game that he's going to run through all your other teammates and he'll find you. He will find you and he will kill you like Liam Neeson, dude. And he will, and he's going to fuck your ass. And it's just, it takes one to just like ruin those lobbies. However, hey, don't forget, guys, you can use shotguns too. That's what I do now. If I die to a shotgun on DOS House, cool. Done doing whatever else I was doing. I'm dropping everything. Time to level my vital proficiency,
Yeah.
combat shotgun, smile,
Combat?
and just run through everyone. And it's fun. It's fun because it's so overpowered.
Yeah.
Super fun. But yeah, anyway, that is that.
All right, next up, I would argue that the magazine attachments that change the actual gun caliber, so like the extended mags, like that category of attachments, is way more broken than the actual ammo mods. Before the game came out, we were worried about things like frangible, hollow point, FMJ, explosive tipped bullets. None of those are that crazy. All of the most broken attachments from the guns I've seen are like the STG magazine, where it's the, I don't know what the caliber of bullets are, but it's like the 20 round mag. That thing, that's what makes it a lot better. That's damaging the game and making the time to kill a lot faster than any of the regular ammo mods are. So I don't think a lot of people have really thought about that much yet. Like they see that it's overpowered, but it's not even those ammo types. I mean, I don't think any of them are even overpowered to the point that I've been running just FMJ on a lot of them, actually, because it's nice to have added bullet pen. You can just shoot through anything. It's pretty crazy. So that's, you know, it's not a good or a bad thing. It's just something well, it is bad, but it's just something I've noticed is that's what's giving us more issues right now than any of the actual ammo mods themselves, which was the opposite of how it was in the beta.
Yeah. Yeah, and the opposite of what we were afraid of, too, actually. I don't think ammo type even matters that much, really. I mean, frangibles fucks, but, like, no one uses it. I feel like I do not notice frangible anymore, which I'm glad. I'm glad they nerfed it in the way that they did. Incendiary's trash on almost every type of gun. Well, it's trash on anything but a shotgun or maybe an SMG. Even an SMG, I don't think I'm ever going to really run Incendiary on, though, because I want the option to go long, and I just don't want to put Incendiary. Like, I unlocked it today on the MP40, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Like I said I was going to do it, but I don't think so, because I shoot people far away enough, often enough with an SMG that I don't even want it on that. That's like really just a shotgun mod for me. So yeah, the ammo mods just are not as impactful, luckily, as I had expected them to be. And I don't see that many incendiary rounds either. People are kind of figuring it out. There's like FMJ and Lengthened, and these are good, but they're not game-breaking or anything. And the magazine attachments are absolutely more game-breaking, for sure. Like, again, the bar has that 50 cal. I don't know if it's 50 caliber. It's .50. That's what 50 cal
BMG,
means, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is BMG? What is that?
I don't know. Maybe ball ammo. I don't know.
Whatever the case is, yeah. Like that, too, it just fucks so hard. It's like a 2-shot kill no matter what or something. I don't know. It's really good. But anyways, yeah, I agree with you. The magazine attachments are by far more impactful. Especially the ones that change the caliber.
Gun, yeah.
And then another thing on the magazine attachments, there are not enough just regular old extended mag attachments. I haven't seen a single gun that has it except for the automaton. There are plenty, like the Owen gun has 2 extended mag attachments, but they also change the caliber of the gun. Like, hey, I just want the normal caliber and more of them. The automaton is the only gun I've used so far that has a regular ass extended mag attachment that doesn't change the caliber, it just gives me more bullets.
Every gun does. It's just usually like the last one you unlock. That's what I've noticed.
Really?
Most of them do. Well, I guess not all of them. BAR doesn't. That is true. STG has like a drum magazine that doesn't change the caliber.
Are you sure?
ITRA has a bigger one that doesn't change the caliber. Yes. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
BAR does not, though. BAR has the fast mag, which is 12 rounds, has the 20 BMG, the 30 BMG, and then, wait, what is the 4th attachment? Maybe that one is a bigger one. No, that's like the something weird, like 8mm round or some shit. That gives like better fire rate.
Smaller caliber,
Yeah. So the BAR doesn't have any that are just an extended mag.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm not noticing, but a lot of them, from my eyes, did not have an extended mag of the same caliber as the base gun. Super fucking cringe and annoying.
Some of them don't for sure. Yeah.
Owen gun, I'm like almost positive doesn't either. It has like 2 drum mags, but they both change the caliber. It's like, dude, I don't want this. Like, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, that's annoying. And the Automaton does have a regular extended mag. That's another reason I love it. Put the 45 fucking regular ammo on it and just chunk kids, dude. It's fun as fuck.
And then it has the 75 too, which barely decreases your ADS. Penalty. No.
Yep.
It hits your movement more than ADS. That's what I notice more than anything. But it's usable because that gun is so... you zoom either way, so I think you can get away with the 75, but you don't need it most of the time anyways, but it is something that if you want to run it, there's hardly a penalty to run it.
Yeah. By the way, there is a way to see weapon details. So you see like how many newtons and how many meters per second your gun's doing and shit. I didn't know this, but Tanner showed me or told me. Like if you like hover over an attachment and you press a button, it's like show details. It'll show like Cold War did, like the velocity, like the literal numbers. And like if you equip this attachment, you will ADS this many milliseconds slower. It'll go by percentage and absolute values. Really useful to know. On keyboard and mouse, it's 2, the 2 button. On a controller, it's, I don't know, whatever
it's a button for sure.
It's a button on your controller, so... Just in case you guys didn't know that, because I didn't see that option in the menu. It's probably there somewhere. I just didn't notice it. So you can do that. So yeah. Next, bombing runs kill you all the time.
Yeah. Still, and that's
they're I stopped using them because I'm done calling in streaks that might kill me. I'm trying to go for Killer Master. I got a 15 today, demon time, and so in light of that, I said, I'm going to no longer use streaks that are very likely to get myself killed. Done using bombing run. Just done with it. I'm over it. What are your thoughts?
So twice today, I was on a 10 plus streak between 10 and 15. Because also I'm trying to get all of my 15 so I can get killer. And it killed me. That happened 2 times today. I was on like a
smile
11 or 12 or something, and my bombing run fucking killed me. And I thought I was figuring it out. I'm like, okay, it seems like the bombing run was only killing me before because I was close to an enemy. But we were playing DOS House. Both times that I was killed by my own bombing run, all of the enemies were on the other side of the map. No one was close to me. So that's not it at all. It just all drops in a line and kills everyone no matter what. So yeah, bombing run, it is the worst streak in the game. I would avoid it until this is changed. If it is changed, if it never is, then just never run bombing run because it will kill you and will fuck you over at some point. If you're going for a nuke or something, you call in a bombing run and you die to it, you're gonna never want to run it again. So here's your tip: just stay away from it. Just don't run any streaks. They fucking suck.
And if you really want to run it, just wait until you die to call it in. If you're on a streak, just do not call it in on that life that you earn it on. Simply not worth it. Because there's a high probability you'll die. And you can die in buildings to shit too. I have died in buildings to enemy strafe runs, enemy bombing runs, my own bombing runs, a number of times. It does not happen as often as MW or Cold War for that matter, surprisingly. Usually you're pretty safe inside a building in this game, but not always. So yeah, just don't run bombing run.
Yep.
And then another thing, by the way, just PSA, they changed point blank kills to like short range kills for all weapons, and it makes it a lot easier because the point blank range is like 2 meters actually.
Yeah, it was like 2.5 or something.
Like literally
crazy.
2.5 meters. So there were like challenges for like snipers to get point blank kills. So they changed that to like close range, and I think that varies depending on the gun you have, unlike point blank. Is that correct? Is like a close range kill on a sniper the same distance as an SMG? I don't think it is.
I'm not positive. I don't know. But I know close range kills on ARs I know are easy. I was getting them I swear, like almost up to 15 meters counts as a close range kill, or 10 meters.
That's crazy.
Like if you're in the same area at all on DOS house as someone and not on the other side of the map, it counts as a close range kill. It seems to be pretty far. I don't know what the exact stats are though. Hopefully like Ace puts out a video on that pretty soon, but they're easy to do. Point blank kills you have to actually try for. Like you have to sit in a corner on DOS house and play ratty or something, or purposely slide into people. Close range, you just play normal and you will get them. Because you also unlock close range kills pretty early on, so your gun's like only half leveled up anyway. So don't focus on it. Just keep playing, and by the time you have everything else done, or by the time your gun is max level, you'll probably have almost all the close range kills done.
That's also the case for long shots on a lot of guns, maybe all ARs, but certainly a lot of them, is you will unlock a camo fairly early on, get 100 long shots. But then at like level 60, you'll unlock another camo that is like, with these 3 attachments, get 100 long shots. So the point being, don't worry about long shots until you get to that camo, because you're going to have to do 100 more anyway with 3 specific attachments. So just don't worry about them until you get to the second one, the attachment specific one. So then you could do them both at the same time.
Yeah.
It's another pro tip for you. And by the way, we plan on doing fairly soon a Patreon episode on atomic grind pro tips for all guns. So like riot shield, what do you want to do? Where do you want to play? What's the strat? What setup? Etc. We're going to do an episode on that. So we'll have more to say in that vein.
Yeah.
At patreon.com/dropshot. $5 a month, 4 bonus eps a month. More than that, 5 bonus eps a month. More than that, maybe even more. Patreon.com/dropshot. Best way to support the show. So keep that in mind. The reticles they have fixed. So there are a lot of optics in this game, and the reticle challenges were not working. You couldn't unlock things. They have fixed it. And Tanner dislikes the reticles. I don't. I think a lot of the reticles are pretty fucking good. A lot of the default reticles are fucking terrible for otherwise very good optics. So like the Mark 8, for example, it's like a really clean optic with a dog shit default reticle.
So is that the one that looks like a radar?
It's like a fucking spider web. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
You can't see through it. It's like, cool. I have no bezel, but also I can't see through the sight picture. Mm-hmm. Really dog shit.
Horrible.
But use it anyway to unlock some of the next reticles, because they get quite good. I feel like pretty much every optic has a carrot reticle, which is like a little mini arrow pointing up or down. Up, I think all of them.
That one.
It's not my favorite either, but it's like definitely usable, and it's worth it for how good the optic is to like unlock that reticle. So I think almost all the reticles are terrible, but every optic has at least one reticle that is good enough to make it worth using that optic, given that you can run a decent reticle on it.
If we get 10 attachments in Warzone, I honestly feel like just the default NIDAR will be the best one to use for like SMGs and stuff, if you run a optic on SMGs. 'Cause I don't know, it's just, again, it's one of those things like in Warzone. I always wonder, like, why are these people changing the reticles? The reticle this person is running is way worse than the default. That's how I feel about a lot of the reticles in this game. Unless, like, other than what you're talking about, because I never use that optic to begin with and wouldn't because of that default shit reticle. But it's like for the NIDAR, there's one that's decent. It's like a little cross. You unlock it at like 400 ADS kills. That's the other thing. The reticles are simple to unlock on every gun. It's like you get the max one at 500 ADS kills. That doesn't take a long time at all.
Yeah, and that's a cross weapon, so you'll have it before you even think about it.
Yeah. So there's one that's a little cross. You get like 400 kills for like the NIDAR. That one's good actually, but still I think the default one's just better. I didn't find any others that I thought were better than the default dot and circle, but I don't know. I haven't really seen many people running different reticles either, so.
Yeah, a lot of people I think still assume they're broken.
Probably, yeah.
I think they fixed and retroactively fixed it, because like all of a sudden I had all of them.
Really?
But maybe
I think you just got them. Yeah, so, I didn't notice that. I noticed when they fixed it because I got like 50 kills very quickly, and I was like, oh, I just unlocked the reticle. It's the first one I've ever unlocked. So that's probably what it was. You just didn't even notice because it's so easy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's possible. But either way, I think I would advise you guys to pick your optic based on what optic you think looks best, irrespective of the reticle. And then once you find that optic, go look at the reticles for it and see if any of them are serviceable to you. I would bet for any optic you pick, there will be at least one that's good enough. You might as well level it and get there. Because good optics are like really important. And if there's a reticle that you can use for that, you should just quickly unlock it. Even if the first one is dog shit. Like the Mark 8, the first 50 kills are going to be fucking trash because the reticle's so bad. But then you unlock another one that's not good, but it's better than the default. And then you can use that to get to like the good reticles for that good optic.
Yeah.
So there you go. What's this next one here, Tanner?
So here's another little tip. Again, we'll get more into this when we do a Patreon episode on it. But
yeah, true.
This is a cute little tip I found yesterday. So long shots. There's a scope for most guns, for sure for like the ARs. It is the night vision scope. I don't know exactly what it's called. I'm pretty sure it's the only one that's called night vision though. They call it that. It's more of a thermal, but also not exactly a thermal. So you can see through smoke with it, but the player's body doesn't like highlight like a thermal would be. So, it's honestly like it's bugged actually, because it's called night vision. I don't see why it would do that.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't actually brighten things up. So if you guys use it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It ADSs quickly. It's like a 3 or 4 times zoom, but doesn't actually seem to zoom that much. It's like the perfect amount. ADSs quickly, very clean reticle. And essentially what it does is you can throw smoke grenades, look right through them, and like all of like the haze and the fog on the map, it pretty much gets rid of all that. It's weird. So for long shots, ARs, I run ammo box, field upgrade. I bring smoke grenades, carry smoke grenades. You throw those on the ground, look through it. You'll get a few long shots and no one knows what's going on because you just look directly through it on DOS house. You go DOS house, go to mid, look towards their mid, look straight down that hallway. If they're in that room that they spawn in back there and you shoot them, that's a long shot. And so that optic is insane. It's probably broken actually. It is super clean. So like all of that dust and shit that goes on, you don't see any of that. It's just it disappears. There are a few weird bugs with it. Like if you're playing hardpoint if you're playing patrol, as the patrol zone is moving, the patrol circle like blocks the view of the night vision. Like it makes it so you can't really see through it and past that moving patrol circle. So I don't know what's going on with that, but in terms of getting easy long shots, this is so simple. I got like 35 in one game last night, just bot lobby. It works best if it's on domination because the spawns don't flip as often and people just keep coming mid. Some people actually start throwing smoke because they don't watch the kill cams and don't realize that I'm looking through smoke. So they think they are helping themselves. I'll see them run around the corner, throw a smoke real quick, and then start to try running down mid, and they don't even know that I'm there, but I'm looking through the smoke, and they don't even know that.
Yeah.
So it's just an easy free kill. This makes AR long shots and LMG long shots really easy to do. I would recommend trying this for sure, but yeah.
This reticle fucks, dude. By the way, even if you're not going for like cheeky long shots, and even if you're not using smokes, this is just a good scope in general to use. Like I was playing Red Star with the BAR, again, long range gun, and I wasn't throwing smokes or anything. I was like sort of going for long shots, but just in general, it's just a good fucking scope.
Yeah.
Because yeah, the penalties are not nearly as bad as like a Merc thermal in MW.
Oh, no.
It's just like normal ADS time, basically. I don't even know what the con is. It might be -1 ADS. But the reticle's clean. You can see people really well. And it does look through like haze. Like, you know how if someone throws a grenade and there's just like, not like a smoke grenade, but like a normal, like a gammon, and there's just some smoke, it just cuts right through it.
Yeah.
And it applies like a sharpness filter. And the reticle is super clean. the default one, you might be able to even change the reticle on it too.
You can, yeah.
Not
There
that-
were some
yeah.
there were some nicer ones. There were some that are actually like the Warzone ones where it turns out to be like this tiny little cute green dot in the middle, very similar to the
Ooh,
scalpel
super
one you
cute.
get from Zombies Cold War
Okay.
that we were using in Warzone, very similar to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big downside of that scope is it looks huge, so when you're not ADS, it takes up a bunch of your screen because it's a large optic.
True.
Another map I feel like this would work well on is Tuscan. That lane where you can't see anything
Yep.
down it because it's all haze. I want to try using
know
it today.
exactly
See if
what
you
you're
just cut
talking
through all
about.
that because you probably do.
Yeah. Yeah. So even in general, just for like an LMG, this might be the best scope for an LMG general purpose.
Yeah.
Just a
Maybe.
general purpose LMG scope. That might be the best one.
I haven't experimented
has
with
a-
too many, but it's really good.
Yeah, yeah. Because it doesn't zoom too much, but it has some zoom for anything you want like some distance on, like a bar or an LMG. I think this might just be the best scope. With the additional benefit of being able to see through smoke grenades and just general haze, yeah. That they love to have in these games. So yeah. And this next one I agree with you. The camo challenges in general are pretty fucking easy. I have only one gold gun so far, but I've looked at a lot of my other guns and what you need to do for the camos. Pretty fucking simple. Like I have a gold bazooka. That's the worst one because you have to play 30 separate games to get it gold for one of the camos. Cringe. But in general, yeah, I think the camo challenges are like pretty easy and straightforward. There's no blind fire camos. There's no mounted camos.
I would rather have
And-
mounted, honestly, than some of them. There's so many good spots to mount in this game
Yeah.
with all the head glitches. It
Yeah,
would have
that's
made
maybe
for a
true.
way more ratty experience in terms of people shooting back at me always being mounted, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like with the launchers too, another thing that's good is that like in Cold War, you needed to get 100 launcher kills. But in this game, you need to get 100 launcher elims.
good
And
point.
all that means is you do some damage. If he dies eventually, it's essentially you get an assist and it still counts toward the camo. So like that makes it so much easier too. So yeah, the camo challenges are pretty fucking easy and straightforward. Yeah.
Do you know how the elims work in this game, though? So say I hit someone and damage them, and then their health regens, and then 20 seconds later they get killed. You're not getting an elim for that, right? It has to be
Correct.
like, well, they're damaged, right? Yeah?
You have to, yes, you have to contribute toward whatever damage
Towards their
that led
death,
to
yeah.
them dying.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so there are some weird challenges like LMG quickscope. I still feel like that is not intended, and that's there by accident. It's not. It is kind of hard to do because like I'm using the DP right now, the LMG, and you have to get quickscope kills with the worst fucking setup. You have to use these 30 round belt magazine, which 30 rounds on that gun is gone immediately. You have to use some like weird stock and like a dog shit proficiency or something, and you have to get 100 quickscope kills with it. It's not that bad, but it's hard enough that you are almost forced to go play hardcore because the setup has a lot of recoil. It either has a lot of recoil or really slow ADS speed, which you don't want because you have to get quickscope kills. So it's just weird. It doesn't feel right to have to do that on an LMG. It's like, why should I quickscope and then kill someone and then that be one of the challenges for a fully automatic large machine gun? I don't get it. I hope they end up changing it, so I kind of stopped going for it for now. But it's not necessarily hard. It's just one of those things that's like SMG long shots is way faster to do if you just go and play hardcore, which I don't want to do, but you're kind of forced to do it because of that. And then AR long shots with specific attachments, as we were just talking about. Don't make me do 100 long shots, and then once I level up the gun 30 more times, make me do another 100 long shots with some dog shit specific attachments you tell me to use. That's... Why are you making me do the same thing twice? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
You can make me do it once with those attachments. That's fine. But then take away the regular 100 long shot kills and replace it with something else. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Mhm. Another thing that's annoying too with like LMG quickscopes is like you don't know if you got a quickscope. You just have to like wait till the
Yep,
game's
exactly.
over and see how much progress
It's pretty.
you got.
It seems pretty simple. It's like you kind of just do it so like if someone's close to me, I just scope in really fast and I kill them. But if someone's more than 20 meters away, I don't even bother trying. I either try to close the gap or they just kill me. Pretty much, that's how it works. It's super annoying. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. And another random point here. I fucking cannot stand that you can't drop shot. I miss drop shotting. I hate not being able to do it. The name of the goddamn podcast is the Drop Shot, and I can't drop shot, and that sucks.
Stand
and
shot.
I was hoping the crouch shot perhaps, and I was hoping that, like in Cold War, you can at least get an attachment that allows you to drop shot, but you can't. There's one proficiency that's like increased prone recovery time or some shit like that. I haven't looked into this or what it does. I'm not really sure. But just not being able to drop shot is super fucking annoying. And it's going to be doubly annoying when I'm transitioning between playing multiplayer and playing Warzone.
Yeah.
Because you absolutely want to have drop shotting on the table in your repertoire if it's possible. So like I'm going to need to get back in the habit of knowing I can drop shot when I go play Warzone again. And then I'm going to come back to multiplayer, try and drop shot and die doing it. Every single time it happens. Every time. I'm positive that's going to happen to me. And that's annoying. I don't like not being able to drop shot. There's skill gap to when you should and shouldn't drop shot and doing it. And the fact that that's not in the game just removes one small element of skill that you can't exploit to do better. I still think the skill gap in this game is quite large because you can't rely on cheese in general. You can't rely on kill streaks. So there's still a lot of skill gap in this game because everything really comes down to a gunfight. But drop shotting would have been nice because that adds to the skill gap. It's fun to do, and it sucks that it's not possible to drop shot.
Yeah,
at least with most guns. Maybe there's some obscure gun that you can drop shot with, but I really doubt it.
I don't know why they ever take it out. Like, it doesn't ruin the experience ever. Like, people don't, well, I'm sure, like, boomers complain when there's drop shotting in the game. But the majority of the player base doesn't care that it's in the game or likes having it in. I just don't know why they ever take it out. It's very annoying.
I know.
So yeah, it's hard to get out of the habit of not doing that. I died today doing that a couple times.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if Warzone's like this or like Modern Warfare, but when you go prone and then get out of prone, your hip fire is very inaccurate until it closes, and that takes like a second and a half, 2 seconds. It's a very slow transition to have accurate hip fire again. But yeah, maybe it was already like that. I'm not sure. Like in like Modern Warfare or something, but I don't think it was it? Okay. Maybe it just didn't.
I'm not sure.
Maybe the actual crosshair just didn't like visibly show that on your screen, but it was worse. I don't know.
But you can stay ADS'd if you're standing up in MW from prone. That's the thing. That's probably why you don't really notice.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, that's annoying. And the other thing, the crouch speed needs to be raised. So right now, if you go queue into a match and you smash the crouch button as quickly as you can, it won't let you crouch nearly as fast as you're doing it. You can just jam the button constantly, like an MW, and you'll pop up and down constantly. This game, it's like down, up, and you can't go any faster than that, which is very annoying, because that's something that I do a lot in Modern Warfare and in Warzone, is you'll get in a position where you can peek over and I'll constantly crouch and stand as I move like from left to right, so they don't know exactly where I'm going to peek every time. And it's very annoying that you can't do that in this game. I haven't seen anyone talking about this. I don't know if no one notices it, but that's the way I play a lot, and it's bugging me that I can't do that. But you can mount on the side of a wall and crouch up and down at that speed. So I kind of hope it's just bugged right now.
Oh, really?
Yes, if you mount a corner, you can go up and down fucking fast. But then if you unmount, it's not fast at all. So I don't know what's going on with that.
How weird.
I hope Sledgehammer becomes aware of that issue, though. Because, yeah, I don't...
This might be an anti-snaking mechanic. For those of you who don't know, it's like a CDL term. I think it's called
CDL.
snaking.
Yeah, it is.
Where you just sit behind like a half wall or just some piece of cover, and you just crouch spam so that like your hitbox is like pretty much never there, but you're still able to shoot from there. So it's like impossible to kill you off of it. And if you just like crouch spam on that cover, it's called snaking, I guess.
Yeah. Because if you're mounted, you're way easier to shoot off.
CDL or whatever. Yeah. So they could have done it on purpose to prevent that from being possible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, though, if they cared about the CDL, there would be trophy systems in this game, and there's not, so they don't care about that. They didn't think about the CDL for sure.
Perhaps true, and good for them. That's why my favorite dev. Fuck the CDL.
Fuck the CDL for sure. Yep.
But yeah, I haven't noticed that because I use toggle crouch. I don't use hold.
I do too, but I just
really?
I jam. Yeah, I use toggle everything. I don't use anything that's hold. It's all toggle.
That's so weird. Yeah, I hate you using toggle ADS. It makes me so uncomfortable.
KD check?
I mean, well, Jake doesn't use toggle.
I don't fucking care about Jake.
Okay.
Jake just started playing PC games a year ago. What does he know?
I think it's probably better to use toggle ADS though, honestly, because then you're not affected by holding down.
I'll never understand why people think it's easier to always have to worry. It's so much harder for your brain to process having to always hold down on a button and then right next to it also press and shoot. I don't know. It's easier to press ADS and then you don't have anything to worry about. You only have to worry about one finger. I don't know. People just don't ever try it anymore because I think most games default now come hold for most 100%, of the buttons, whereas
1000%,
the PC shooters back in the day used to always be default toggle, but you could switch it. So I feel like just no one switched it back then, and now it's the same thing. It's just no one switches it and they leave it what it is.
Yeah, I think if I was new to KBAM and I like thought about it, I would get used to toggle. But I'm so used to hold now, I'm not switching. I don't care.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's probably superior.
It's just weird to me because it's like so you have to hold down right click as you're also thinking about moving your mouse and then pressing left click. It's just one less thing to worry about. You just press the button when I killed the guy, I just press it again, and I don't know. It's just a lot easier for me.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I hate it, but it makes sense.
Fuck you.
All right, and then kind of wrapping up here. Last point. Has our opinion in general overall changed of Vanguard from a week ago? No, hasn't. Still the best launch we've had in a long fucking time of a Call of Duty game. I'm still having a fuck ton of fun. Some things I'm beginning to dislike more. Some things I'm beginning to like more. Some things I was worried about that I'm not worried about anymore, and vice versa. And overall, my general opinion is still the same. I'm having way more fun in this multiplayer than I've ever had in MW or Cold War. That's especially surprising given that it's only been out for a week. There is the novelty factor, obviously, but there was no novelty factor for me with MW. No, yeah. I did not have fun playing the first week multiplayer. If anything, I had more fun later on in MW multiplayer because I had to get used to how wildly different that game was than a Call of Duty game. So I started doing better as I learned how to camp, basically. Smile. So really, really, really happy still with Vanguard thus far.
Yeah.
Really having a lot of fun. Think it's a really good game in general. And I'm looking forward to playing it as soon as this podcast ends, in fact. What are your thoughts
Stay humble,
on that,
bitch.
Listener? Stay humble.
Yeah, see ya.
So overall, very happy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still very happy too. I can't even imagine also how much more fun I'd be having if we weren't just entirely overplaying this game. I mean, I've been max prestige for the last 3 days. I've played way too much. And I still want to hop on every time and play. It's not often I can play a game for that long. I haven't been able to do that in a while. Where I could sit there and play multiplayer. Like seriously, this morning I played from like 8:15 until.
Yeah, we both.
When did I get off?
Like 12:30.
12:31. I mean, just nonstop, not even thinking about it. Last night I did the same thing. I played for like 3 or 4 hours straight. And it's so easy to get caught up and just keep playing. Part of that's because the camo challenges. You want to get that grind. I want to finish up before Warzone comes out, but I can't even do that in Warzone. Warzone, I have like a strict maximum amount of time I can play, and then I'm mentally just fucking done. I'm checked out. This, you don't use your brain. You just run around and blitz and see people and shoot them. So there's like, I don't know. I'm not like really getting sick of it or anything yet. I still think it's really fun. I'm having a blast. Yeah, there's more little issues we're figuring out now, as everyone does as they play something more. I think the maps are the biggest thing for me. Is I thought a lot of the maps were better on launch, and now I'm kind of just figuring out, they're okay. Again, they're not horrible, and that's better than what we've gotten in the past. So they're good enough, but again, that's probably because we've been playing so much. Like people that, a lot of you listening that, you know, work 40, 50 hours a week and play on your spare time, you're probably still loving everything because it all still feels very new. We've already put a lot of hours into it. So, you know, there are little things that are going to start to bother you more, but absolutely, best COD release in years, still having a fucking blast on it.
And another thing too, like, cause I share, my biggest concern is also like the maps. I'm starting to like, my opinion's changing on a lot of them, but that's the great thing about Call of Duty, modern Call of Duty games, is that how many maps are we going to get from now until MW 2022 comes out?
Oh yeah.
Fucking 20. Like
3 every season, probably 2 to 3 every season.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to be getting so much more content too. And a lot of that is going to be maps. And the maps they're going to add a lot of remasters. Most of those are going to be good and fun. So that's going to add to the overall caliber of the maps.
Yeah.
And then the original maps that they add, I think those are going to be by and large pretty good too, because the same proportion of new maps you can imagine are going to be good based on the proportion of good maps there were on launch. So like the map problem over time is just going to be better, ameliorated, I guess. So like the more content that gets added to this game, the more fun the game's going to continue to be. And that's going to be solving our biggest concern, which is the maps right now. And that's not even that big of a concern because the maps are in general pretty fucking fine. So yeah, I'm very, very deeply pleased with this. Very excited for new content to constantly be coming out. And also, once I go back to playing more Warzone, it's going to be even more fun because I won't burn out on multiplayer. Because like this can be the most fun multiplayer on earth, but if you're only playing that every single day, doesn't matter how fun it is, you're going to get burnt out. But when Warzone, the new map comes out, and I start playing more Warzone, it's going to be really good for both modes because you won't experience Warzone burnout if you have fun multiplayer to go to when you get tired of Warzone. And likewise, you won't experience multiplayer burnout when you have fun Warzone to go to. So it's going to make both modes more fun because you're going to be less likely to burn out on either of them. So this is just really good. I'm really fucking excited for the Warzone for Caldera to come out. Because it's going to make my enjoyment of both Warzone and multiplayer higher, which is going to be really fucking good.
Yeah.
So I'm just really excited for this year of Call of Duty. I'm hoping, and I'm very, very optimistic that it's going to be a good fucking year for Call of Duty. And I've never said that since this podcast started. Not once. Never. Well, maybe before Modern Warfare came out, I was optimistic.
We were optimistic until we played the beta in that game, and then we're like, oh, they'll fix a lot of the issues, and they fixed some of the things, like they at least added the mini map back, even though it didn't show red dots,
Sort
and
of,
then they kind of did some things, but then it was still, the game was so fucking hard on launch.
Yeah,
I got decimated.
It was just like learning a new game. It was just not Call of Duty. It still isn't. I mean, Modern Warfare is Call of Duty in name only. Fucking dog shit game. But anyways.
It introduced a lot of good things, though. Gun customization, gunsmith in general. That's made COD a lot better.
Yeah, 100%.
And, you know, and Vanguard did that too with like the combat pacing. So it's like every map can feel very fast no matter what the size is. And then, then of course they introduced Warzone, as you're saying. Whereas like, I feel like Cold War didn't really introduce anything new. What did we get from Cold War that was new? They didn't. You know, so it's like as many issues as Modern Warfare had. Hold on. As many issues as Modern Warfare had, it introduced a lot to the game series in general, and Vanguard seems to be doing the same thing.
True, with combat pacing.
Yeah, and like you're saying, as we get more maps throughout the year, they won't be that much worse than any of the maps we have now, probably. We won't just all of a sudden get some map that's like Grozny Raid or
exactly.
Or like, you know, Euphrates Bridge,
Piccadilly.
something like that. Yeah. We know how they design maps somewhat. At the worst, it's going to be a 3-lane-ish map probably. You know, it'll be like Tuscan. It'll still be better than most Modern Warfare maps. Because
Exactly.
the maps MW put out after launch were a little bit better, but still, I mean, nothing close to being as good as, maps in Cold War and the maps in Vanguard now.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So yeah, overall, just very, very fucking excited. And let this be a message to all of you fucking whiners in Discord who have, over the tenure of this podcast, said, you guys are so negative. You guys are just negative Nancy's. You hate on everything. You shit on everything. Why do you even play Call of Duty? All you do is complain about it. No, we don't, dude. There just has been only things to complain about since we started the podcast until now. We're not negative Nancy's. The game has just fucking sucked until now. But finally, we can be optimistic. We aren't just negative people by default. But Call of Duty just gave us no option but to be negative until now. So let this be a lesson. Wrong. We're not just negative all the time. It's just that Call of Duty's fucking sucked until now. So we aren't negative people.
Also,
and let this be the lesson here. We can be optimistic if there's something to be optimistic about. And finally, God damn it, there is something to be optimistic about. Smile.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Also, no one would listen to this podcast if all we did was say, oh yeah, Warzone's really fun. Warzone's in a pretty good state right now. There's a lot of cheaters, you know. You guys wouldn't fucking listen. There are people that get mad at us at some point and be like, dude, you guys are too fucking negative. That's all you say. You wouldn't listen to this podcast if all we had to say were positive thoughts. You simply wouldn't. I don't care
because
if you try to deny that, you wouldn't. So fuck
True.
you for saying that. If you think that, fuck you. You wouldn't be listening. So yeah.
Yeah, that's also true. It wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't be possible for us to have been positive about Modern Warfare's release week unless we were literally lying to you. It wouldn't be possible. There was almost nothing positive to say. So anyway, there's just kind of a meta podcast point.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
That's how life is, right? People don't watch the news to see who got rescued from... What missing person got rescued? They watch the news to see who got fucking murdered. That's what they want to see. To bash politics. That's what they watch it for. People thrive on negativity. That's what you like to hear.
True. Real and true. And there will be more to complain about, trust me. So, but for now, overall, pretty goddamn optimistic and very excited. So, all right. Other than that, boys and girls and bitch boys and girls, that is it. Patreon.com/thedropshot, best way to support the show. We will be back on Tuesday with another Vanguard gameplay sesh. We've got a lot of content coming out in the Call of Duty world very soon. So this is going to be a real exciting month. And December will be as well for the podcast and for Call of Duty in general. And for the Patreon. Once again, patreon.com/thedropshot. We need patrons. Tanner is in thousands of dollars of debt to the Internal Revenue Service. We need patrons. Yeah. It's the best way to support the show. And that's where we offer all of our fucking fire bonus episodes. We do 5 a month. We're going to be increasing that number relatively soon. And the bonus episodes when a new game comes out are just awesome because there's a lot of good shit to talk about. And we do a lot of that on the Patreon. And by the way, hey, also, when Caldera comes out, you can bet your sweet, cute little ass that we're going to have a lot of other fire fucking Patreon episodes to talk about Caldera and the new Warzone map and the new Warzone guns, maybe the new Warzone app. There's going to be a lot of just heat to deliver.
Rico Chat.
And Rico Chat, and if it works or
Rico
not.
Chat.
When Caldera comes out as well. So now is an exceptionally good, maybe the best time ever to become a patron. And even if you don't care about bonus episodes, I don't care if you don't listen. Just join the goddamn Patreon because we need your money, dude. And it's that simple.
Do your service to this
Patreon.com/thedropshot.
country. Yeah. Do your service to this country and to me. get me out of merch debt, get Raz out of merch debt, and more importantly, get me out of IRS debt because my tax person screwed up and I am in IRS debt. So figure it out. They're really, I don't know if there's ever been, we say often like it's a good time to join the Patreon. When a game comes out though, and a bunch of Warzone shit's coming out in a month, I don't know if there's ever been a better time to join the Patreon than now, actually.
True.
We're going to have so many episode ideas, we're not going to be able to do all of them. So that's a good problem to have, but buy our merchandise. Be a lot of good shit. I'm in debt. Figure it out.
Yeah. And we're also still in merch debt. Yeah.
I deserve your money, right?
We deserve it. Yeah. We're also still in merch debt. So, and the merch is of the highest quality. So the dropshot.com, you can find links to Patreon, our store, everything there. Please help us. We're literally we're begging you. So figure it out. And our donation link goes to both of us 50/50, 97.3. So you can donate as well. Be like Chris, who donated us 100 United States fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Find a donation link in the show notes, the description, the fucking panels on Twitch. Doesn't matter. Find it. Any link you find, it goes to both of us.
Yeah.
And give us your money. That works too. So other than that, that's it. Fuck toys. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.